Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Mafruq bin Amr then decided to include Hani bin Qabisa in the conversation. He therefore introduced Hani by saying, "This is Hani bin Qabisa. He is our elder and in charge of our religious affairs." Thereafter, Hani addressed Rasulullah ﷺ saying, "O my Qurayshi brother, I have heard what you have to say and accept every word of it. However, I feel that if we forsake our religion to follow yours, it would be a mistake and would reflect upon the weakness of our understanding and lack of contemplation over the matter. The reason for this is that this is only our first meeting with each other, which may not even be the last, and no one knows what the future holds. Mistakes often occur because of haste. In addition to this, we have people at home who would dislike that we enter into any agreement without consulting them. Therefore, you should return, and we shall return. Thereafter, you contemplate over your matter, and we shall contemplate over ours." Hani then wished to include Muthana bin Haritha into the conversation. He therefore introduced him, saying, "This is Muthana bin Haritha. He is our elder and in charge of our military affairs." Addressing Rasulullah ﷺ, Muthana said, "O Qurayshi brother, I have listened to what you have said. I like what you said, for it appealed to me very much. However, my reply to you will be the same reply that Hani bin Qabisa has given. We find ourselves between the borders of two countries. The one is Yamama and the other is Samawa." Rasulullah ﷺ asked him, "On the borders for which two countries you are situated?" He replied, "On one side we have the land, the high hills and mountains of the Arabs, while on the other side we have the land of the Persians and the rivers of the Kisra. The Kisra has permitted us to live there on condition that we do not start anything new and do not support any person who starts a new movement. The possibility is great that the Persian kings would not like that which you are calling us towards, whereas the custom in the land of the Arabs is to forgive those who will have erred and to accept their excuse. The custom of the land of the Persians is that people who make mistakes are not forgiven, nor are their excuses accepted. Therefore, if you wish that we take you back to our land and assist you against the Arabs, we can accept this responsibility. However, we cannot bear the responsibility of opposing the Persians." Rasulullah ﷺ said to them, "Your reply has not been an evil one, because you have spoken frankly. However, the only people who can establish the deen of Allah are those who protect it from every angle." Rasulullah ﷺ then stood up, taking the hand of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates further when he says that the three of them then proceeded to the Aus and Khazraj tribes and left them only after they had pledged their allegiance to Rasulullah ﷺ. Speaking about the Aus and Khazraj tribes, Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu says, "They were extremely truthful and extremely perseverant people. May Allah be pleased with all of them." Another narration states that Rasulullah ﷺ said to them, "The only people who can establish the deen of Allah are those who protect it from every angle." Thereafter, Rasulullah ﷺ added, "Tell me, if after a short while Allah grants you the Persians' land and their wealth and takes their women to your beds, that is, making them your wives and slaves, will you then not be prepared to glorify Him and proclaim His purity?" To this, Nu'man bin Sharik said, "You then have our support, O brother of the Quraysh." Rasulullah ﷺ then recited the verse, "O Nabi ﷺ, we have certainly sent you as a witness, a carrier of good news to the mu'mineen that they will enjoy Jannah, a warner to the kuffar that they will suffer the punishment of Jahannam if they do not accept Iman, and as a caller to Allah by His command, and as an illuminating lantern." Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu says, Rasulullah ﷺ then stood up, taking the hand of Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He turned to us and said, "O Ali, how excellent are the manners of the Arabs even during the time of ignorance. How noble are they. It is because of this they protect each other in the life of this world." The three of them then proceeded to the Aus and Khazraj tribes and left them only after they had pledged their allegiance to Rasulullah ﷺ. Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu says, "The Aus and Khazraj tribes are extremely truthful and extremely perseverant people. Rasulullah ﷺ was happy that Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu possessed so much knowledge about the lineage of the Arabs. Not much time had elapsed afterwards when Rasulullah ﷺ came to his companions and said, 'Praise Allah abundantly, because today the Banu Rabi'a amongst whom were the Banu Shayban tribe, have defeated the Persians. They have killed the Persian leaders and annihilated their armies. Allah has assisted them because of me. Allahu Akbar. Another narration explains this further by stating that when the soldiers of the Banu Rabi'a met the Persian army at a place called Qurakir, which was close to the Euphrates River, they used the name of Muhammad ﷺ as their code word, because of which Allah granted them victory. After this battle, the Banu Rabi'a entered the fold of Islam. One day, while mentioning the virtues of the Ansar and that the fact that they were pioneers in Islam, Hazrat Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, "The person who does not like the Ansar and does not recognize the rights due to them cannot be a mu'min. By Allah, they use their swords, their power of speech, and their generosity of their hearts to nurture Islam, just as the mare nurtures her foal in a green pasture." During the season of Hajj, Rasulullah ﷺ used to go out to call the various tribes to Islam. However, none was prepared to accept his message. He used to meet the various tribes at the marketplace of Medina and Ukaz and at Mina until he would meet the same tribes returning year after year. In fact, there were those tribes who used to say to him, "When will the time come for you to give up hope on us, because you have been meeting with us for such a long time?" Eventually the time came when the most powerful, the most honored Allah decided matters in favor of the tribes of the Ansar. Rasulullah ﷺ then presented Islam to them, and they readily accepted. They took Rasulullah ﷺ to their town, assisted him, and sympathized with him. May Allah reward them with the best of rewards. Ameen. Thereafter, we the Muhajirin came to them and took up residence in their homes. They preferred us above themselves to the extent that they would even draw lots to decide which of them would be host to us. Eventually, from the depths of their hearts, they allowed us to have greater rights than them in their very own wealth. They even sacrificed their lives for the protection of Allah's Nabi. May the mercies and blessings of Allah be showered on them. Hazrat Sa'd bin Rabi radiallahu ta'ala anha says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam continued calling people to Islam when he was staying in Mecca. However, he was abused and hurt. Eventually, the decision of Allah demanded that honor come to this tribe of the Ansar. Consequently, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam met a group of them at a place called Aqaba, as they were busy shaving off their hair after performing Hajj. When one of the narrators asked Hazrat Sa'd radiallahu ta'ala anha who the group was, she replied, "There were 6 or 7 persons from the Banu Najr tribe, were Asad bin Zurara and 2 sons of Afra." She did not name the rest of them. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sat down with them, conveyed the message of Allah to them, and recited a part of the Quran to them. They accepted Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and agreed to meet him the following year. This incident is known as the first pledge of Aqaba. Thereafter, the second pledge of Aqaba took place. One of the narrators then asked Hazrat Sa'd radiallahu ta'ala anha, "How long did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stay in Mecca?" She replied, "Have you not heard the words of Abu Sirma?" The narrator responded by saying, "I do not know what he said." She then quoted the following couplet: "He stayed with the Quraysh for a few years, more than 10, advising people with the hope of meeting a suitable friend." She then proceeded to quote an entire poem, which shall inshallah be quoted in a hadith of Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu in the chapter concerning the help that the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum rendered to the cause of Islam. Hazrat Aqil bin Abi Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu and Hazrat Zuhri narrate that one day during the period when the mushrikeen started harassing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to a great degree, he said to his uncle Hazrat Abbas bin Abdul Muttalib radiallahu ta'ala anhu, "O my beloved uncle, Allah shall assist His deen using such people to whom the oppressive opposition of the Quraysh would seem trivial, and who would enjoy great honor in the eyes of Allah. Take me to the marketplace of Ukaz and show me where the various Arab tribes are staying, because I want to call them towards Allah and request them to protect me and grant me asylum, so that I may propagate the message of Allah to humanity." Hazrat Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, "O my beloved nephew, proceed to Ukaz. I shall accompany you and show you where the tribes are staying." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam started by inviting the Thaqif tribe to Islam and then continued meeting the other tribes who were there for Hajj that year. The following year, which is the year in which Allah commanded Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to preach openly, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam met 6 persons from among the Aus and Khazraj tribes. They were Asad bin Zurara radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Abu al-Haytham radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Abdullah bin Rawaha radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Sa'ad bin Rabi radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Numan bin Haritha radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and Ubadah bin Samit radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam met them one night at the Jamara Aqaba during the days of Mina. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sat with them, invited them to believe in Allah, to worship Allah, and to assist Him in the propagation of the deen that Allah had sent the Anbiya and Rasul with. When they asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to present to them what Allah had revealed to him, he recited the following verses of Surah Ibrahim to them. Remember the time when Ibrahim alayhi salam said, that is, when he left his wife Hajra and son Ismail in Makkah, O my Rabb, make this city peaceful and safeguard my children and myself from worshipping idols. O my Rabb, indeed these idols have misled many people. So whoever will follow me by believing in Tawheed, then he is certainly from me, that is, from among the adherents of my religion. And whoever will disobey me, then I pray that you give him the ability to obey me, because surely you are most forgiving, most merciful. O our Rabb, I have settled some of my children in a valley that cannot be cultivated, close to your sacred house, that is the Kaaba. O our Rabb, I have left them here so that they establish Salah. So cause the hearts of some people to be inclined towards them, so that people may love them and settle with them, and provide for them fruits, all types of provisions for their sustenance, so that they may be grateful. So our Rabb, indeed you know what we conceal and what we disclose. So forgive us for all the mistakes we make. Nothing in the heavens and the earth is hidden from Allah. All praise be to Allah, who has gifted me with my sons Ismail alayhi salam and Ishaq alayhi salam, despite my old age. Undoubtedly, my Rabb hears all praise. O my Rabb, make me one who establishes Salah and my progeny as well. O my Rabb, accept my prayer. O our Rabb, forgive me, my parents, and the mu'mineen on the day when reckoning shall commence. Never think that Allah is unaware of what the compressors do. That is, Allah does not punish them immediately, because He is only granting them respite until a day when gazes of people will be fixed upwards because of their intense fright. On that day they will be running towards the plane of resurrection with their heads fixed upwards in astonishment and fright, their gazes never returning to them, and their hearts will be empty, that is, confused and without feeling because of the intense fear. Warn people of a day when punishment will afflict them, and that the oppressors will say, O our Rabb, grant us respite to return to the world for a short while. We shall accept your call and follow the Rasul. But their plea will be rejected, and it will be said to them, Did you not swear an oath before this in the world that you shall never be displaced from the world? You lived in the homes of those who oppressed themselves, and it was clear to you how we dealt with them. That is, you saw that they were destroyed, yet you did as they did. And we even cited examples for you, so that you may mend your ways, but you failed to listen. They plotted their plots, but their plots rest with Allah. That is, He knows what they plot and makes their plots fail. Even though their plots seem so powerful that mountains could be displaced by their plots, never think that Allah will break His promise to His Rasul. That is, He promised them His help, and His help shall come to them. Indeed, Allah is mighty, able to take vengeance on behalf of whoever He wills, from whoever He wills. Do not forget the day of Qiyamah, when the earth will be changed into another earth, and the skies will also be changed. They will then present themselves before Allah, the One, the Most Powerful. On that day you will see the criminals, that is the kuffar, shackled together in chains. Their garments will be of tar, which smells terrible and burns easily, and the fire will cover their faces. They will present themselves before Allah, so that Allah may repay every soul for what good or evil it had earned. Indeed, Allah is swift in reckoning. This Quran is a message for people, so that they are warned by it, and so that they may know by the proofs and examples it contains that Allah is but one Allah, and so that the intelligent ones take heed by listening, learning, and preparing for the Akhirah. Surah Ibrahim, verses 35 to 52. Their hearts were moved by these words of the Quran, and they accepted Islam. As they were engaged in conversation with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu passed by. Recognizing the voice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, O my nephew, Who are these people with you? Rasulullah ﷺ said, These are the residents of Yadrib from the Aws and Khazraj tribes. I gave them the same dawah that I had given to so many other tribes before them, and they accepted my message and believed what I said. They have also mentioned that they shall take me back with them to their city. Hazrat Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu descended from his animal, tied it up and said, O people of the Aws and Khazraj, this is my nephew and the person I love most. If you accept his message, believe him, and intend to take him with you to your city, I want you to make a promise so that my heart may be content. Promise me that you shall never desert him and never betray him, because your neighbors are the Jews and the Jews are his enemies. I fear that the Jews may connive against him. When Hazrat Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu expressed his mistrust, and Hazrat Asad bin Zurara radiallahu ta'ala anhu and his companions, Hazrat Asad radiallahu ta'ala anhu felt insulted and said, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, permit me to reply to him in a manner that will neither upset you nor appear distasteful to you. However, the reply will confirm that we have accepted your message, and it will express our iman in you. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, You may reply to him, for I have complete confidence in you. Facing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Asad bin Zurara radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there is a path to every call. While some paths are easy, others are difficult. Today you have called us towards something that is both new and difficult for people to accept. You have called us to forsake our religions and to follow you in your deen. This is not an easy task. However, we have accepted your call. You have called us to sever all ties we have with both close and distant relatives by following you rather than them. This is not an easy task. However, we have accepted your call. You have invited us to Islam, whereas we are a strong group living in a place that is powerful and mighty. That is where our lives and properties are safe. None could ever imagine that our leader should be someone not from amongst us, whose people have ostracized him, and whose uncles have deserted him. This is not an easy task, but we have accepted it. These things appear difficult for all save those whose welfare Allah has decided, and who foresee good in its results. We have accepted your call with our tongues, our hearts and our hands, because we believe what you have conveyed to us, and we accept it with conviction that has settled deep within our hearts. We pledge our commitment to you in all of this, and we pledge it to our Rabb and your Rabb as well. Allah's hand is above ours, approving this pledge. We shall spill our blood to protect yours, and give our lives for yours. We shall protect you as we protect ourselves, our children, and our wives. Should we fulfill this pledge, it shall be for Allah. Should we betray this pledge, it shall be betraying Allah to the cost of making us the most wretched people. O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all that we have told you is the absolute truth, and we seek Allah's assistance to help us fulfill the pledge. Hazrat Asad bin Zurara radiallahu ta'ala anhu then turned to Hazrat Abbas, saying, As for you, who have used your words to be a barrier between Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and us, Allah knows best what you meant by your words, but you have mentioned that this is your nephew and the person whom you love most. However, we have cut ourselves off from people near and distant, as well as from blood relatives. We testify that he is certainly the Rasul of Allah, whom Allah has himself sent. He is certainly no liar, and what he has brought does not at all resemble the words of man. As for your statement that you cannot be content with us until we make a promise to you, we shall certainly not refuse such a request made out of concern for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You may therefore take from us whatever promises you wish. Turning once again to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Asad bin Zurara radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, take any promises you wish from us, and make any conditions from the side of your Rabb that you wish to make. The details of the Pledge of Allegiance shall inshallah be mentioned in the complete hadith in the chapter concerning the assistance that the Ansar rendered to Islam at the very beginning. Those beautiful actions. Without doubt, any nation that rejects you and supports others against you are certain liars.